Hello everybody and welcome! If you've been watching my channel for the past few weeks, you might remember that I was at the Space Creator Day at the Technikmuseum Speyer. And in this video I would just like to reminisce a little bit about the event, some things I learned about myself and the space community, and maybe something you could learn for yourself and your area where you are if you want to maybe organize an event like that. Let's start at the beginning. I basically just went there for really just that day. I know that other creators, like for instance Matt Lown, he went, I think almost a week or even longer to visit Germany. I just hopped into my car the day prior to the event, drove 800 kilometers, visited the Technikmuseum Speyer and the Buran shuttle, which was very interesting to see and also to crawl inside parts of it. And I'm going to present a video about all of that soon. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe to this channel because there will be more content coming from Space Creator Day soon. The Buran deep dive, as well as interviews with some of the exhibitors there, for instance Rocket Factory Augsburg and ESA Aerospace, who were kind enough to go in front of camera together with me. The event itself, as I said, I came there by car, and one of the first things I noticed when I arrived at the venue was there was like a huge version of my face plastered on a poster, and I'm really not used to that. I'm usually kind of weird coming from a guy on YouTube, but I'm usually kind of a private person and I'm not too much into publicity. But then there's suddenly my face on a poster, like super life size and whatever. One period of time, I think it was for 1.5 hours, maybe more, where I was at the meet and greet booth and I did not have time to leave because there were so many of you coming to have a chat and wanting an autograph and whatever. And I happily obliged because I really had a great time there. And it was really nice talking to all of you guys and listening to your stories. For instance, there was one particular guy who was studying astrophysics in Sweden. Some guy came extra to Germany from Turkey. There was a father and son who came from Seattle to Germany to just see this event, which I think is crazy, but hey, young man is going to grow up to be one of us, a space fan, and I am really looking forward he and all the others from his generation will be able to accomplish. Also, of course, it was super great and super nice to meet all of the other creators, most of which I only knew from like watching them or having interactions via Discord or Twitter or any other digital means. But the event did not go flawless for me. There were some hiccups. Some of you may have seen the shorts video I made about all of the equipment I brought along. Well, there were some issues with that. For instance, one of the interviews I did with the Rocket Factory Augsburg, the audio kind of broke, got lost. I don't know, the file was gone. So unfortunately, I don't have the good audio from the microphone. I only now have the camera audio. So there will have to be some adjustments when I finish that video. So please wait for that. The other thing was the interview with Nate Simpson. You know that thing I released last week where I sat down with Nate Simpson and we talked about the past, present and future of Kerbal Space Program 2. And I really had that planned out from like a production type thing. I wanted to have like 2, maybe 3 cameras, one with my little Osmo Pocket to have a wide shot, then one with my good camera, the one I'm filming right now, to focus in more on Nate and myself, and then a third camera with a really good lens that I actually lent from my wife, who is also into photography, and that would have made should have produced a close-up of Nate's face, so I could cut between these 3 views and provide you with some production quality. Unfortunately, due to the fact how that camera is made, which I wanted to use, this one here, it's a cheaper, mirrorless Panasonic I bought when it was on sale. So I think some Black Friday stuff. It now has the cheap kit lens on it, but it has a physical on-off button, or switch rather, that when you stroke it a little bit, it turns on. And apparently when I put it in my camera bag, I stroked this button, it turned on, and when it was time to record the interview, the battery was empty. So yeah, I had to improvise a little. I also had to improvise with my audio recording because there were some other issues there. My audio software that I wanted to use to record the interview, basically what I'm using is my phone. I'm plugging in my actual audio interface. It's a Universal Audio Volt, and I plugged it in by USB-C, and there is a small audio interface software I use. I think it's called N-Track or something. It really works well for mobile recording. So you have that interface, you just plug it into your phone, and then you go. Problem is, that app crashed, and it took with it the entire audio of the presentation from Nate Simpson for Kerbal Space Program 2 for Science. Because I asked the audio techs, the audio engineers that set up the PA system for the event, if I could hook into their line signal, basically the thing that came to the speakers, so I would get crisp, clear audio from Nate's microphone from his presentation, and they agreed. And they provided me with a physical cable I could plug into my interface. I did that. I recorded it on this phone. And then afterwards, the audio software crashed, and it took with it that recording. And I had to reinstall it, and then I finally was able to record the interview with Nate Simpson. And then some people knocked on the window. So yeah, that's why I had this exasperated look on my face, like, seriously, even this is happening? And I like to use this opportunity to really thank the KSP2 guys for being very patient with me for the setup, because it took a long while until I was ready to go. But on the other hand, it gave Nate more time to relax after the presentation and drink more coffee, so maybe it was beneficial for him as well, at least I hope so. The guy was really on fire the entire day. There was lined up a huge crowd of people at the KSP2 booth, and he took the time to really talk to everyone, take pictures with everyone. So, what can we learn from this? Well, in my case, whatever great production plans you might have, they can fail. And you should be ready to have some sort of fallback or backup or whatever. Luckily, I brought enough cameras to be able to do so, and I didn't forget to press record on them. And luckily, I managed to get my audio software running as well. You really need some redundancies and contingencies to get through these types of events. That aside, I had a blast, and I really want to take this opportunity not to thank, as I said, the KSP2 guys, but really a huge thanks to the organizers of the Space Creator Day. They did a tremendous job. They were like all over the place the entire day. If they have had a step counter or like a Fitbit or whatever, I'm pretty sure they exceeded their step goals for the day like 3 or 4 times. So everyone who organized the Space Creator Day, everyone who was on crew and helping out, thanks so much for organizing this. It was fantastic, and if you do it again next year and I have the time, I would be honored to be invited again. Or I will just come visit and pay for a ticket, because I think it's a great event. This is something, it was now I think 700 people or something was the highest count that was present in that hangar of the Technikmuseum Speyer. But I think it was not even 300 the year before, or even less. I think 200, 250, something like that. I don't know. But it grew immensely, but it is something that stemmed from a sort of grassroots team space creators for space creators kind of thing. It was a small community-driven project that grew into something bigger, and I'm pretty sure if they keep at it, that next year's Space Creator Day will be even bigger. This is something that you can apply to basically everything. You don't have to wait for some big organization to swoop in and do something great for you. If you want to do like a space meetup, hang out in some chat groups or on Discord or whatever, find some like-minded people and get together for like a weekly meeting or monthly meeting or whatever and chat about the most interesting things you saw in space that day and work from there. These small community building elements, you can apply them not only to space but also other things, and those are really the core of our society. Because at the end of the day, like with any organization or with any system, the thing that's really doing the work are the people in these small teams that are actually on the ground. If you don't live in Germany or not in Europe or can't visit Space Creator Day because it's too far or the travel cost is too prohibitive or whatever, maybe think about organizing something in your area. We were, for instance, discussing that there's nothing like this in the US yet, which is strange because compared to Europe, the US is like a giant in space. I mean, you have the giant orange rocket and you have then the giant silver rocket and you have Falcon 9 and you have Atlas, well, not anymore, but you will have Vulcan. And there's a whole bunch of other rocket companies that provide launch vehicles and other services. So we were wondering why it was not the case that such an event like Space Creator Day took place in the US, where you would imagine that more people would be interested in that. If you're in the US, tell me, why do you think that is? Why is there nothing like this type of event there? Would you like to have something over there at your side of the Atlantic? Let me know in the comments and let me know your ideas how to organize that maybe. And then find somebody who has the same interest as you and start organizing. Nothing is going to happen unless you help make it happen. So in this case, I'm going to make this video happen by ending the recording and starting to edit it. And then I'll get to work on all the other stuff I promised you at the beginning of the video, because I want to keep my promises and my subscribers.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel for more and follow me on my social thingies. The links are in the description. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.